Wolfenstein, a PC title that revolutionized the first-person shooter genre. Bethesda, a company that has wowed gamers with both its massively immersive Elder Scrolls series and the modernized Fallout titles. 2014, a year in which game companies should be releasing revolutionary and unique titles in order to capitalize on the new generation of consoles. Well, I guess 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So yeah, I suppose I should clarify that statement in the form of a review or something. Well, without further ado, let's jump right into the newest incarnation of this first-person shooter. But first, we get to sit through an 8GB download. Yep, this sure is fun. So, how was your day? Oh, that's cool, yep. Okay, enough of this. Alright. Now we get to play the game. Oh, wait, never mind. I have to swap between 3 discs because I'm on the Xbox 360 like a peasant. Okay, now we play for real this time. Picture this scenario. During the Second Great World War, the Nazi regime acquired an obscene amount of technology and used it against the Allied war effort with extreme prejudice. As a result, the Allies were forced to surrender, and the Nazis managed to take over not only Europe, but also the rest of the world as well. Trust me, it sounds a lot more interesting than it is. Let's skip ahead to the year 1960. Say hello to war veteran Captain William Blazkowicz. After recovering from a catatonic state, he finds this current state of affairs disagreeable. So, like any red-blooded American, he seeks out the nearest resistance cell and begins plotting to take down the Nazi regime that is now more powerful than ever. So, does good old BJ have what it takes to brave the horrors of war once again, while working with a ragtag group of rebels and having shrapnel lodged in his head? Well, if it worked in Star Wars, I don't see why it wouldn't work here. In case you've been living under a rock for the past 22 years, the Wolfenstein titles are first-person shooters. And, well, that's really all I can say about this campaign. It's just your standard run-of-the-mill FPS. The only new aspect to this series is the ability to use stealth and perform takedowns, but that's really nothing special in the FPS genre. I don't know, I just sort of feel like I've been down this road before. Many times, in fact. Although, I will say that due to the nature of this storyline, you get to see the designs of the enemies change over time, and it is pretty cool to see various European cities under Nazi control. This campaign spans 15 chapters and overall should take you around 12 hours to finish. However, there is a small amount of replayability due to an important choice made in the first act, which slightly changes the storyline. Now for the reviewing. Graphically speaking, this game is really hit and miss. The character models and the detail thrown into the enemies are actually put together quite well, but on the other hand, many of the environments tend to look a bit bland. Plus, many set pieces look downright pixelated once you look at them up close. Yeah, I know I'm not playing on the next-gen consoles, but I've still seen better looking titles for the Xbox 360. As for the gameplay, well, like I said, it's pretty generic, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you've played any shooter in recent years, then you probably know what to expect and how to succeed in this game. However, I do have 2 issues in this category. First off, in order to pick up ammo, armor, weapons, or items, you need to press the X button. The problem with this? You need to manually pick up each individual piece of armor or ammo from fallen enemies during combat. Add this in with the fact that the same button reloads your weapons, and you will find yourself face down many times during combat. Why is this such a big deal, you ask? Well, I just don't understand why a game would overcomplicate such a basic element that has been standard in first-person shooters since the days of, oh, I don't know, Wolfenstein 3D? The other issue with the gameplay that I have, well, I'll let this guy sum it up for you.
The good thing about the Nazis is they really are stupid.
Yeah, the AI is really not very good. If you manage to stay at least somewhat out of the enemy's blind spots, you can have your knife in their throat with little trouble. Plus, they will often do foolish things such as not use cover or run directly at you when you have akimbo automatic shotguns. Although they do tend to favor a quantity over quality approach, so there is at least some challenge there. Let's move on to the story. First off, I will say that I really enjoyed the premise. This game truly does make it seem plausible that the Nazi regime was able to use superior technology to take over not only Europe, but the entire world. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop the overall storyline to be as bland as a bowl of grape nuts. In all fairness, there are some interesting set pieces, and some of the side characters are fairly interesting, but there really isn't much time given to character development, and in the end I was still wondering if I should really care about this American war hero. But despite all of this, can I recommend this game? Well, as I've pretty much pointed out, it's nothing spectacular, but if you want to check out another title in the Wolfenstein library, or just want an excuse to kill some Nazis, then you could do worse. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to see my lieutenant about some scalps.